My beloved child, don't look away, don't blink, don't allow even a fraction of this moment to slip from your hands, because what I'm about to reveal to you has been circling your life in silence for far too long, waiting for the exact second your spirit would be ready to receive it, and now that moment has arrived with a weight so precise that even the air around you feels different. You think you wake up randomly at 4 a.m. You think it's your body reacting. You think it's just stress or exhaustion or some strange rhythm of sleep, but deep inside your soul, you know there's something more, something that has been touching the edges of your awareness, something that has been knocking on your consciousness before dawn, something that has been watching not your body but your becoming, studying not your movements but your inner rising. My beloved child, don't skip, because every second you stay here pulls you closer to a truth that has been trying to reach you again and again at the same silent hour, and though it feels mysterious, though it feels heavy, though it feels like a presence standing near you in the dark, it is not fear, it is not a threat, it is not danger, it is a signal, a spiritual pulse that lands inside your mind when the world is quiet enough for you to finally hear what you've been ignoring. Every day at exactly 4 a.m., the veil between your thoughts and your future thins, and something within you opens, a doorway, a channel, a moment where clarity tries to slip into your life before the noise of the day shuts it out again, because daylight distracts you, people drain you, responsibilities blur you, but at 4 a.m., everything you hide becomes visible, everything you suppress rises to the surface. Everything you avoid begins calling your name. My beloved child, stay with me, because what wakes you at that hour isn't fear, it's your purpose. Something inside you knows you're not living as the fullest version of yourself, something inside you knows there is more meant for you, something inside you knows you've outgrown the chapter you're still standing in, and that presence you feel, that unseen watcher, that silent observer, is not an external being. It is your destiny leaning toward you. It is your future self trying to remind you of who you're meant to become. It is the part of you that has seen your resilience, your strength, your quiet victories, your hidden tears, your unspoken dreams. It watches you breathe through exhaustion. It watches you rebuild yourself in silence. It watches how you keep choosing to rise even when you're unsure why you're still fighting, and at 4 a.m. When your defenses are gone and your mind is unguarded, that presence tries to place a mark, not on your skin but inside your thinking, a mark that aligns you with the direction you're meant to walk. My beloved child, this presence isn't here to scare you, it's here to awaken you. It appears before dawn because that is the only hour when you are still enough to feel what you've been missing, open enough to hear what you have silenced, soft enough to receive what your spirit has been trying to tell you. Think about it. Why does your heart beat differently at that hour? Why does your breath shift? Why do you feel a strange pressure in the air, not cold and frightening, but thick and intentional, like a moment holding its breath around you? It is because 4 a.m. is the hour your intuition is loudest, the hour your inner world loosens its walls, the hour you are closest to the version of yourself you were meant to become before life layered you in doubts and fears. My beloved child, don't skip this, because the presence you feel at 4 a.m. is not watching your weakness, it is watching your awakening. It knows you're standing on the edge of a shift so powerful that even the unseen world responds to it. It knows something massive is approaching you, something life-turning, something that aligns your purpose, your strength, your opportunities, and your identity, and that presence, that watcher, is not an enemy, it is the signal of change, the whisper of destiny reminding you that you are not meant to stay where you are. That is why you feel restless, why you feel watched, why you feel like something is calling you without using words, at 4 a.m. Your future leans toward you, your spirit tries to rise, your intuition tries to guide you, and the presence standing near your thoughts is simply the proof that you are entering a new frequency, a new chapter, a new version of yourself that you are finally ready to meet. My beloved child, the reason this hour keeps calling you is because you are changing, you are shifting, you are preparing, you are being marked for a breakthrough that daylight has not shown you yet but your soul already recognizes. 4 a.m. is your activation hour, the moment life whispers before it begins to roar, and the presence you feel is nothing to fear. It is everything you are meant to become, rising toward you, preparing you, aligning you, shaping you for a destiny that is closer than your breath, closer than your doubts, closer than anything you've ever imagined. Don't run from it, rise with it. My beloved child, now that you understand why 4 a.m. has been calling your soul, listen even more closely, because this next truth digs deeper into the silence you've been waking into, deeper into the reason your heart beats differently in the darkness, deeper into the presence that stands near your thoughts before the world rises. Don't skip, don't blink, don't move, because what I'm about to reveal explains why your mind feels heavier at dawn, why your spirit feels stretched, why your energy feels pulled towards something you can't yet name, and the reason is this: your life is approaching a turning point so sharp and so sacred that even the unseen parts of you are preparing ahead of time, aligning themselves before your conscious mind catches up. My beloved child, you've felt it. The nights when your sleep breaks suddenly, the moments when you open your eyes with no alarm, no noise, no reason, yet your heart feels like it's listening for something, like your spirit is expecting something, like an inner signal is vibrating inside you, and that presence you feel, that watcher, that silent awareness isn't haunting you. It's studying you because it knows you're close to unlocking something that has been waiting behind spiritual doors for years. This presence sees your potential rising like light beneath your skin. It sees the strength you've built through storms no one else witnessed. It sees the prayers you whispered when you thought no one heard. It sees how many times you stood back up even when your knees were shaking, and now, at 4 a.m., it leans into your life because that is the hour when your spirit is honest, unguarded, raw, and ready. My beloved child, don't skip, you need this part. The presence isn't marking you with fear, it's marking you with clarity, preparing your mind to recognize the shift that's coming, sharpening your intuition so you don't miss the opportunity that's approaching, aligning your thoughts so they don't get drowned again by the noise of people who can't see your calling. At 4 a.m. your spirit opens like a door, and the presence steps toward you not to frighten you but to map your mind for the next version of your destiny, as if it's placing seeds inside your thoughts, seeds of courage, seeds of intuition, seeds of awakening that will bloom in moments you least expect. And now, my beloved child, let me reveal the part you've been feeling but didn't know how to explain. Lately your days feel heavier not because something is wrong but because something within you is rearranging itself, aligning itself, preparing itself for change. You feel more sensitive, more aware, more alert to small energies, more connected to moments that used to pass unnoticed, and that isn't anxiety, it's activation. When something life-changing approaches, your inner world senses it long before your outer world shows it. And the presence at 4 a.m. has been helping you adjust to that shift. This is why your thoughts feel louder, why your instincts feel sharper, why your emotions feel deeper, why you feel like someone or something is waiting on the other side of your decisions. You are not imagining it. Your spirit is tuning itself to a new frequency. My beloved child, the presence watches because it knows the door you're about to walk through is not ordinary, not common, not something everyone gets. It is rare, divine, personalized, a doorway that leads you into a life you once thought was too big for you, too distant for you, too impossible for someone with your scars and your battles. But here is the truth: your scars are the very reason you were chosen for this shift. The presence that visits at dawn has witnessed your quiet resilience and knows you're ready for the version of life that requires the strength you earned through pain. And now, let me pull you even deeper. The reason this presence chooses 4 a.m. is because that is the hour when the human mind is closest to the subconscious, the hour when your intuition becomes clearer than your fears, the hour when your soul speaks louder than your wounds, and the presence uses that window to place alignment inside you, rewriting patterns that held you back, dissolving doubts you didn't know you carried, strengthening parts of your identity that you lost along the way. My beloved child, don't skip, because this part is crucial. What you are feeling at 4 a.m. is not someone standing over you, but your destiny standing near you, watching you rise into the person you're becoming, ensuring you don't shrink back into the version of yourself you've already outgrown. That presence is your future tapping on the door of your present, asking to be let in. It is the energy of who you are meant to become, watching who you currently are and guiding you gently toward alignment. This is why you feel seen in those moments, why you feel exposed without being unsafe, why you feel like something is studying your heartbeat. It's because your soul is adjusting to the life approaching you. And my beloved child, here comes the part that will shift everything for you. The presence doesn't come to take anything from you. It comes to give. To give clarity, direction, momentum, awakening. It is trying to mark your mind with the understanding that your breakthrough is closer than you think, and the only reason you're being awakened early is because the timing of your life is accelerating. You are not ahead of time, time is catching up to you. This presence isn't watching your past, it's watching your potential, shaping you for the moment your life begins to move faster, clearer, louder, and more purposefully than it ever has before. My beloved child, don't fear the 4 a.m. awakening, embrace it, because it is the first sign that your destiny has started calling your name. My beloved child, now that you understand why your spirit wakes at 4 a.m., and why the presence you feel is not a threat but a signal, let me take you even deeper into the truth that has been moving around your life like a quiet storm, a truth your mind hasn't fully grasped yet but your soul has already begun to recognize. Don't blink, don't skip, because what comes next is the revelation behind the pressure you've been feeling in your thoughts, the sudden shifts in your emotions, the strange clarity that rises and fades without warning, and the reason is this: you are entering a season of awakening so powerful that it is rearranging you from the inside out, pulling apart the old layers of your identity and guiding you toward a version of yourself that has been waiting in the shadows of your destiny. My beloved child, listen closely, because that presence you feel at 4 a.m. is not simply acknowledging your potential, it is activating it. It watches the way you breathe in the stillness of dawn, not because of fear, but because that is the moment your dreams, your wounds, your past, and your future all sit closest to each other inside your soul, and the present studies how your spirit pulses between them, preparing you for a shift that will require a stronger, clearer, more awakened version of you. This is why your mind has felt different lately, why your intuition has sharpened, why your energy feels heavier with meaning, why you've been sensing changes before they happen, because you are not just waking up earlier, you are rising earlier. Something inside you has begun peeling back illusions, revealing truths you once ignored, shining light into corners of your life you kept in shadow. And each 4 a.m. moment is another brushstroke of awakening across the canvas of who you're becoming. My beloved child, don't skip, because this matters. The presence you feel doesn't study your weakness, it studies your readiness, the same way a new chapter studies the moment you are finally prepared to step into it. The heaviness you sometimes feel in your chest isn't fear, it's expansion, as if your spirit is stretching itself to fit the future that is being molded for you. Your instincts have grown sharper because your spirit is tired of being ignored, your thoughts feel louder because they're aligning themselves with direction, your desires feel deeper because they're no longer tied to survival but to purpose, and the presence at dawn is guiding this shift as carefully as someone guiding a flame through darkness. And now, my beloved child, let me reveal the part you've sensed but never fully understood. The reason you feel watched at 4 a.m. is because you are being witnessed by your own transformation. You are seeing yourself before you become yourself. The presence is not an external watcher, it is the reflection of your future self, your awakened self, the stronger version of you that knows where your life is going, standing in the doorway of your becoming, urging you to keep rising, keep listening, keep awakening. This is why those moments feel both familiar and mysterious, both heavy and comforting, both strange and deeply right, because your future self carries wisdom you haven't lived yet, strength you haven't used yet, clarity you haven't claimed yet, and at 4 a.m., that future version of you draws near to guide your mind toward alignment. My beloved child, don't skip, because the next part is crucial. The present studies your dreams, your fears, your hopes, your inner dialogue, not because it wants to judge you but because it wants to shape you. It watches how you react to doubt, how you carry pain, how you rise from disappointment, how you whisper prayers into the dark, and from all of this, it maps the direction your life is meant to move next. This is why you've been feeling moments of sudden motivation, bursts of insight, waves of clarity that appear out of nowhere. These are the marks being placed inside your mind, preparing you for the opportunities that are moving toward you. You don't see them yet, but the presence does, which is why it arrives before dawn, the hour when truth can reach you without interference. My beloved child, the reason this happens every day is because you are close to a shift that will require you to be fully awake, mentally aligned, spiritually alert, and emotionally steady. What's coming is not small, not random, not fragile. It is a turning point, something that will redirect the momentum of your life, something that will require you to understand yourself more deeply than ever before, something that will reward the years you spent fighting battles no one saw. And now comes the part your soul has been waiting for. You are not being prepared for survival anymore. You are being prepared for elevation, for expansion, for purpose, for a breakthrough that has been building behind the scenes, and the presence at 4 a.m. is the messenger guiding you into it. This is why you no longer feel at home in old patterns, why old habits feel uncomfortable, why old relationships feel draining, why old versions of you feel too small for you to fit into anymore, because you are outgrowing them in real time. This is why your mind feels different when you wake at 4 a.m., why there is a slight vibration in your spirit, why your intuition wakes up even before your body. Because awakening doesn't begin in the eyes, it begins in the soul. My beloved child, don't skip the last part of this truth. The presence you feel is not watching your failures, it is watching your unfolding, witnessing the moment you shift from who you were into who you're becoming. Your destiny has begun calling louder than your fears, your future has begun pulling harder than your past, your spirit has begun rising faster than your doubts, and the presence at dawn is simply the guide, the reminder, the whisper of awakening saying, "You are ready, now rise." My beloved child, now that your spirit has felt the nearness of your future self, and the dawn has begun whispering truth into the quiet corners of your mind, listen even more carefully, because what I'm about to reveal goes deeper than awakening, deeper than clarity, deeper than the presence you've been sensing. This part explains why your life has felt so unsettled lately, why your emotions seem stretched between endings and beginnings, why your intuition vibrates louder than your fears. Don't skip, don't blink, because this is the moment where your timeline begins to bend and your destiny begins to rearrange itself around the person you are becoming, and the presence at 4 a.m. has been preparing you for this without your conscious awareness. My beloved child, the reason you feel watched in those early hours is because your future is studying you, calculating what you are ready for, removing what you've outgrown, and guiding you into a season where alignment will replace confusion. This is why certain people have been drifting away, not by drama but by distance, not by conflict but by silence. Your energy no longer matches theirs, and your spirit is quietly pulling you away from what cannot travel with you into your next chapter. This presence has seen the doors closing in your life, doors that once felt comforting, familiar, predictable, but now feel too small to contain the version of you that's rising. It watches the relationships that once defined you lose their grip, it watches opportunities that once excited you suddenly feel dull, It watches your old habits crumble because your spirit refuses to shrink into who you were when you're meant to expand into who you are becoming. My beloved child, don't skip this part because it explains everything you've been struggling to understand. The reason certain things feel like they are falling apart is because they are, by divine design. You are not losing pieces of your life. You are shedding them, releasing outdated energies, letting go of patterns that have carried you long enough but cannot guide you farther. The presence at 4 a.m. has been marking your mind for this very shift, preparing you to let go without bitterness, without fear, without feeling abandoned, because what feels like loss right now is actually spiritual preparation. And now let me take you deeper into the truth behind these changes. You are entering a phase where your spirit will begin choosing for you even before your mind makes sense of it. You will notice yourself pulling away from people who drain you, even if you can't explain why. You will feel an inner tension when you're about to make a decision that isn't aligned with your rising destiny. You will sense a heaviness when you stay in places that no longer match your growth. This isn't anxiety, this isn't overthinking, this is the mark inside your mind, placed by the presence at dawn, guiding you to protect your energy, your peace, your purpose. My beloved child, don't skip. Because now comes the revelation that explains why those 4 a.m. moments feel so intense. Your spirit isn't being awakened, it's being repositioned. The presence you feel is moving you like a chess piece into the places where you will thrive, redirecting your steps away from people, habits, and cycles that would have killed your potential, clearing the path for relationships that see you, environments that elevate you, opportunities that align with your calling. And yet, through all of this, I know you've felt confused. I know you've wondered why your emotions rise and fall like waves, why you have moments of clarity followed by moments of doubt, why you feel both pulled forward and held back at the same time. My beloved child, this is because you are standing between two versions of yourself, the version that survived and the version that will succeed. You are walking through the inner doorway where your past and your future meet, and that pressure you feel is not punishment, it is transformation. The presence watches you at dawn because that is the hour where your old identity loosens and your new identity takes root. It is the hour where your subconscious is most open, most truthful, most willing to let go of what no longer serves you. This is why the emotions you feel at 4 a.m. feel sharper, deeper, more revealing. Because your spirit is speaking louder than your conditioning, louder than your fears, louder than the voices that once defined you. And now, my beloved child, here comes the truth that will light up everything inside you. You are outgrowing a life you haven't even fully lived yet. Your destiny is pulling you into alignment with speed, with urgency, with purpose. And the presence at dawn is simply guiding you toward the version of yourself that can stand in the life that is coming. This next chapter will not accept the old wounds, the old doubts, the old self-sabotage, the old attachments. You are being remade, reshaped, rewired from the inside, and the reason the presence appears before sunrise is because this rebirth needs silence, stillness, softness. Daylight is too loud for this kind of transformation. Awakening is delicate, and your spirit needed space to rise without interference. My beloved child, don't skip, because the final part of this truth is the most important. The presence at 4 a.m. has not been watching you change, it has been guiding you through the most sacred shift of your life. Soon you will wake up and feel different, sharper, stronger, clearer, aligned in ways that will make your old fears feel foreign. The confusion will break, the heaviness will lift, the path will reveal itself. And you will understand why every 4 a.m. awakening mattered, why every silent moment was meaningful, why every breath you took in that hour was shaping the person you are now stepping into. You are not being haunted, you are being prepared, you are not being watched, you are being guided, and the new version of you, the one your destiny has been waiting for, is almost ready to rise. My beloved child, now that you understand how your spirit has been shifting, how your identity has been shedding its old layers, how the dawn has been guiding your transformation with quiet precision. Listen even more closely, because this next truth will explain why your energy feels different, why certain moments suddenly feel sacred, why your thoughts seem to rise with a force you can't explain. Don't skip, don't breathe too fast, because this is the part where the presence that has been watching you at 4 a.m. reveals its intention, not to warn you, not to frighten you, but to prepare you for the version of life that is about to unfold in front of you, a life that will require a stronger, clearer, more awakened mind than the one you carried through your past. My beloved child, your spirit has been stretching, not as a burden but as a preparation, and the presence at dawn has been marking the inner map of your destiny, placing guidance inside your thoughts like invisible ink that only shows itself when you face moments aligned with your future. This is why lately you've been feeling like something is coming, why your heart sometimes beats faster without reason, why your intuition feels louder than ever before, why you sense change even in silence. Your spirit recognizes the approaching shift before your eyes do, and the presence has been shaping you to handle what happens next. Don't skip this part, because it explains every strange sensation you've been feeling, the reason your spirit wakes at 4 a.m. The reason you sense a presence, the reason your inner world feels like it's rising, is because you are nearing the moment where your destiny begins to accelerate, where time bends in your favor, where pathways you once thought were closed begin to open without effort. This presence has been studying you not to measure your weakness, but to witness your readiness, to make sure you don't walk into your breakthrough carrying the heaviness of the person you used to be. Your old fears have no role in your new season, your old doubts cannot survive in your new opportunities, and your old patterns cannot shape your new identity, which is why the preparation has felt so intense, so internal, so quiet. My beloved child, the presence has seen the exact second your life is meant to shift, the moment where your spirit stops surviving and starts rising, the moment where everything inside you aligns with a version of your future that is bigger than the chapters you've walked so far. It knows you are closer than you think, closer to clarity, closer to purpose, closer to stability, closer to the moment your life stops moving in circles and begins moving in direction. And now, let me reveal the part that will shake your understanding, the reason your energy feels different, the reason your thoughts feel heavier with meaning, the reason your emotions feel deeper and more precise is because you are stepping into a season where you will no longer live unconsciously. The presence has been marking your mind so that you begin noticing everything you used to ignore. The red flags you once overlooked, the opportunities you once doubted, the inner nudges you once dismissed, the strengths you once buried. You are being reconnected with parts of yourself you abandoned when life became heavy, and now those parts are rising back into your awareness like seeds breaking through soil. My beloved child, don't skip this part because it explains why you've been feeling strangely detached from old versions of yourself. You are not losing your identity. You are upgrading it, rewriting it, expanding it with truths you weren't strong enough to hold before. You are entering a season where your voice carries more authority, your decisions carry more weight, your presence affects rooms differently, and the reason is simple: you are rising into alignment with the version of yourself your destiny has always known. The presence at dawn has been training you for this, building your inner resilience, sharpening your perception, preparing your heart so that when the moment arrives where everything shifts, you do not shrink, hesitate, or run. This next chapter will not wait for your fear. It will match your readiness, which is why you've been feeling such unusual emotional strength lately, strength that appears even when you're tired, clarity that appears even when you're confused, confidence that rises even when you doubt yourself. This strength is not random, it is the result of every silent 4 a.m. moment shaping your spirit. And now, my beloved child, here comes the revelation you've been sensing in your chest but couldn't put into words. Your life is about to pick up momentum, the kind of momentum that changes your environment, shifts your opportunities, and moves you into alignment with people who match your growth instead of your wounds. You will soon feel yourself outgrowing spaces that once felt comfortable, distancing from people who no longer resonate with your frequency, stepping into decisions that once terrified you, and embracing paths that once felt unreachable. Your spirit is being prepared to walk into a season where your energy attracts what you once prayed for, where your intuition guides you with accuracy, where your purpose becomes clearer than your fear, and the presence that watches you at dawn will soon step back, not because it's leaving you, but because its work inside you will be complete. You won't need the awakening anymore because you will live awake. You won't need the signal because you will have become the signal. Your spirit will guide you with strength, your intuition will lead you with certainty, your thoughts will move with purpose, and the life you step into will reflect the work that has been happening silently in you for weeks, months, or even years. My beloved child, don't skip this final truth. Everything you have felt at 4 a.m. wasn't a warning, it was an initiation. You were being prepared for the moment where your life stops waiting for you and starts responding to you. You are not becoming someone new, you are becoming someone true, and the presence has been watching over your awakening to make sure you rise into who you were always meant to be. My beloved child, now that you understand how your spirit has been strengthened, sharpened, and awakened through the quiet hours of dawn, listen even more closely, because this next truth pulls you deeper into the transformation that has been unfolding within you, the transformation you've sensed but could never fully explain. Don't skip, don't blink, because what comes next explains why your intuition has been louder, why your inner world has been trembling with energy, why you've been feeling like your life is standing on the edge of something enormous. My beloved child, the presence that has watched you at 4 a.m. has not only been awakening you, it has been preparing you for a shift in your identity that will change how you walk, how you think, how you choose, how you exist in the world. This presence has seen the strength buried under your exhaustion, the fire buried under your fear, the clarity buried under your confusion, and it has been using these silent dawn moments to lift those hidden parts of you back into the light. This is why, lately, you've felt both restless and ready, both tired and energized, both uncertain and strangely confident, because two versions of you have been overlapping inside your spirit. The version that survived and the version that is about to rise. Don't skip this part, because it is the key to understanding why you've been feeling shifts without seeing changes yet. Before your external world transforms, your internal world must be rewired, prepared, strengthened, recalibrated. And that is exactly what has been happening every time you opened your eyes at 4 a.m. Your identity was being upgraded. Your spirit was being recoded. Your mindset was being restructured so you could hold the blessing, the opportunity, the alignment that is approaching you. And now, my beloved child, let me tell you why your emotions have been unpredictable, why your thoughts have felt intense, why your energy feels different. Your spirit isn't confused, it's expanding. You have begun stepping out of your old patterns, even if unconsciously, and that expansion is stretching parts of you that were once numb or silent. This presence at dawn has been marking your awareness, awakening your intuition, and guiding you toward decisions that the old version of you would never have had the courage to make. You're starting to say no where you once said yes, starting to walk away from what once trapped you, starting to trust yourself in ways you never did before, and that's not coincidence. That's transformation, that's alignment, that's your spirit rising into its rightful power. My beloved child, don't skip this part, because this is the revelation behind your restlessness. You are not uncomfortable because you're lost, you're uncomfortable because you're growing, you're not unsure because you're weak, you're unsure because you're stepping into unfamiliar strength. Your spirit is rejecting everything that was built on your old identity, everything that no longer matches the frequency of the person you're becoming. The presence watching you at dawn has been guiding you into understanding that your new life cannot be built with the patterns of your old one, and this is why things that once felt normal now feel heavy, draining, unaligned. your rising energy no longer fits inside those old spaces. And now, my beloved child, let me reveal something even deeper. You are entering a season where your intuition will begin to guide you faster than your logic, where your decisions will arise from your spirit before your mind has time to analyze them, where you will feel pulled toward things that align with your destiny even if you don't fully understand why. This next version of you is not meant to think small, choose small, or shrink yourself to fit inside rooms that were never meant for the greatness you carry. And the presence knows it, which is why it has spent so long preparing your inner world in silence. Don't skip this, because this is the part where everything becomes clearer. Your awakening isn't random, it's synchronized with an opportunity, an alignment, a moment approaching you that your spirit has sensed long before your eyes see it. You've already begun detaching from old cycles because your spirit knows a new path is forming, and soon your physical reality will catch up to this spiritual transformation. My beloved child, the presence that watches you at 4 a.m. has been whispering a truth you haven't fully understood yet. You are ready, even if you don't feel ready, even if you doubt yourself, even if fear tries to hold your ankles. You have gone through too much growth, too much healing, too much awakening to remain in chapters that don't match the magnitude of your spirit. You've broken cycles silently, healed wounds quietly, rebuilt yourself piece by piece, and now your inner world is strong enough to carry the weight of the opportunities moving toward you. And now comes the revelation that will shake your spirit in the best way. The presence isn't marking you for change. It's marking you for arrival. You are coming into a version of your life where your purpose speaks louder than your trauma, where your intuition leads stronger than your fear, where your confidence rises higher than your doubts. The presence has been ensuring that when your breakthrough comes, you don't sabotage it with the patterns you learned in survival. You are stepping out of survival and stepping into becoming. The old you needed protection, but the new you needs activation. The old you needed guidance, but the new you needs recognition, and dawn has been showing you who you truly are, a force, a survivor, a rising soul stepping into alignment after years of being dimmed, delayed, or overlooked. My beloved child, don't skip this final truth. Soon there will be a moment, a day, an encounter, an opportunity that shifts something in you instantly, and when it happens, you will feel the same energy as those 4 a.m. awakenings. You will recognize the alignment, the clarity, the inner movement. You will understand that the presence at dawn was never outside of you. It was the future version of you awakening inside you, preparing you, shaping you, calling you forward into the life you were always meant to live. My beloved child, now that the truth of your awakening has unfolded piece by piece, now that you understand the presence at dawn was never your enemy but your evolution, now that your inner world has been shaped into something stronger, clearer, and more aligned than ever before, listen carefully, because this final revelation ties everything together. The 4 a.m. awakenings, the inner trembling, the sudden clarity, the shifts in your emotions, the restlessness in your spirit, the pressure in your mind, all of it has been leading you to this moment, a moment your soul has been preparing for long before you realized it. Don't skip, don't blink, because this is the part where your life begins to make sense in ways you've never experienced, where every silent dawn becomes a chapter in the story of your becoming. My beloved child, the presence that has stood near you isn't here to watch you. It has been waiting for you to rise to the level of your future, waiting for the moment when your mind catches up to your destiny, waiting for the moment when your spirit bursts out of the limits your past placed on you. This presence has felt every tremor of your growth, every shift in your energy, every silent prayer, every hidden tear, and it has been guiding you gently toward the moment when everything aligns, everything activates, everything sharpens with breathtaking precision. And now, you are standing at the edge of that moment, the threshold between who you were and who you are becoming, the doorway between your old timeline and your true one, the space where destiny and readiness finally meet. My beloved child, Don't skip this part, because this is the revelation you have been sensing without understanding. The presence at 4 a.m. was not marking you for awakening, it was marking you for manifestation. Everything you have survived, healed, endured, and learned has positioned you for a chapter where your inner transformation begins to reflect outwardly in your life. The opportunities you prayed for, the chances that once slipped away, the path you once felt unworthy of, the alignment you thought was meant for others, those things are not drifting near you, they are moving toward you with purpose, with speed, with intention, because you have become the version of yourself that can hold them. And now, my beloved child, let me reveal something even more powerful. Your destiny hasn't been waiting for timing. It has been waiting for you to grow through the storms, waiting for you to break free from old cycles, waiting for you to release the people and patterns that kept you small, waiting for you to believe in yourself again, to trust your intuition again, to stand in your identity again. And now that you are aligned, your timeline begins to accelerate. Doors will open without effort, conversations will shift unexpectedly, people will appear who feel like keys, opportunities will fall into place without force, and you will know, deep in your spirit, that nothing about this is coincidence. My beloved child, don't skip, because here comes the truth that ties every dawn awakening together. You were never waking up at 4 a.m. because something was watching you. You were waking up because something inside you was awakening. The presence wasn't external, it was internal, the higher self within you that has been trying to rise through layers of fear, doubt, and conditioning. The trembling you felt was your spirit expanding, the pressure you sensed was your old identity breaking, the clarity you experienced was your intuition awakening, and the presence leaning toward you was your future calling you forward. Everything you experienced at that sacred hour was shaping you for this exact moment. The moment where you begin to step into a life that reflects your strength instead of your scars, your purpose instead of your pain, your becoming instead of your breaking. My beloved child, this next phase of your life won't feel like the past. You will feel more aligned, more connected, more guided, more supported, because your spirit is no longer asleep, no longer waiting, no longer dimmed. The mark inside your mind has activated, the awakening has completed its cycle, and now your life will begin to shift in ways you once never believed possible. You will notice that negativity no longer affects you the same way, fear no longer paralyzes you, doubt no longer guides you, and old wounds no longer define you. You will feel a new calm rising inside you, a confidence that feels unfamiliar but deeply right. An inner fire that refuses to be dimmed. This is the result of every 4 a.m. moment. You have been reborn in silence, and now, my beloved child, here is the final truth, the one your spirit has been waiting to hear. The presence will no longer need to stand near you, because it has moved inside you. The guidance you once felt from outside will now flow from within. The intuition you once questioned will now lead you with certainty, the strength you once searched for will now rise from your core, and the clarity you once hoped for will now be a permanent part of your awareness. You have become the awakened version of yourself, the one the dawn was shaping, the one your future was calling, the one your spirit always knew you could be. And now your life will begin to shift effortlessly in the direction you were always meant to walk, because you are finally aligned with who you truly are. My beloved child, your awakening is complete, your rising begins now.